Hey, so I recently just watched The Long Walk, and if you haven't heard about it, it's basically this dystopian world movie where 50 boys are thrown into this competition where they have to walk over 3 miles an hour, and like if you stop, you basically get killed. And so they keep walking until last man standing wins, sort of. And it's essentially Hunger Games, but instead of battle royale, it's whoever can walk the longest. Um, and for a totalitarianism, like dystopian world, it's not really a movie that's going to be going through systematic oppression or how power is used to control people. It's like interestingly a movie about how humans react to and like honestly deteriorate in a situation of impending doom. And I thought that was really interesting and a take that I didn't expect. Like the world building doesn't make a lot of sense in this movie. There's not a real good reason for why the long walk exists. So I think if you're going into it for a movie that gives you commentary on power and totalitarianism and politics and stuff, you'll probably be left wanting. And honestly, I think that might make this movie age well because it's vague enough that you'll just like self-insert whatever big organization or power that you hate. But I think if you're looking at it through that lens, you're kind of missing the point because it's a more humanistic movie. And I personally found that pretty interesting. Like considering it's a movie of 2 straight hours of just boys just walking and talking, it's pretty engaging and tense. The dialogue and the banter and the cussing and the ribbing and the silence that like the boys share with each other, like it feels super realistic, and like people are shouting and talking over each other all the time. And I think it works really well to develop our two main characters. And something you see in The Long Walk is that this movie shows the difference between walking the walk and talking the talk. Like no pun intended or whatever, but 99% of this movie is them talking, and the characters don't really get to make choices until the end, right? But the ending gives them a real chance to actually prove everything that they've been talking about, like prove that they actually believe that and they mean that. And that's a very basic but compelling question, right? You can talk about your beliefs and morals all day long, but like when push comes to shove, when you're tired, when you're fatigued, when you're hurting, when you strip people down to their core, like what will they do? And I think this movie does a great job of just showing the deterioration of people mentally, physically, emotionally, showing the toll that the long walk takes on them. Like these kids are walking 300 plus miles without stopping at all. It's visceral, it's bloody, it's gory. I think it's done all pretty well. And one thing that like I do really want to shout out, the subtlety and the physicality of how they were walking and how they were acting as they were walking, it was like super good. Like you could tell like, oh shoot, like this guy's fading, or like, oh, that guy, he's something's wrong here, right? And I felt tired and exhausted just by watching them by proxy. And in this movie, as you're going along, more and more boys die, and you kind of realize like only one of them can live, but they're all like becoming friends with each other and trying to be nice to each other. And so at some point, like one character says, I don't know if I have it in me to win. Like I want to, but I might just like sit down when I get tired. Like I want the money, but like that desire to beat someone else, to like outlast them, to compete and win, like I don't think I have that in me. And I don't think like I ever have. And so like stuff like that, there's a bunch of like different lines or conversations that put into words human experiences that we probably often don't think about. But like I found that to be super compelling because it was verbalizing things that we kind of know inside of ourselves, but hasn't been drawn out because we're not in those situations. And so time and time again, I was just kind of like given little bits and pieces to like chew on throughout the movie, and I found that more interesting and compelling than like the whole overarching narrative. In terms of cast and actors, like the real standout for me was David Johnson. Like I knew when I watched him, like last year, Alien Romulus came out, and like he was great there, and he plays a very different character here. But like man, this guy, he's got such a charm, a confidence, and he's still able to like play with layers of these characters. And I also think he just has like this very specific, enigmatic, like mysterious look. Like he looks like there's a lot of things going on inside of his head, and so he was absolutely great. Most of everyone in the cast was great too, but he stood out for sure. But I think like maybe my one nitpick is that the side characters, they don't really like work, I think. Even though they like provide interesting one-liners or interesting perspectives, like none of them are given enough time or focus. So you kind of know who will die and who will survive, and it feels like they're just kind of there as plot devices to kind of impact our characters. And it feels kind of clear that they're just like there to be plot devices to impact our main characters with a death or something or push them forward. And honestly, like think about it, like maybe that's the point. Like should we only care about deaths if we know the person and understand the story? Like doesn't each person like matter even if we don't know who they are? And I like that idea, and I think they kind of point out that like idea of normalizing violence and how terrible it is to dehumanize people. So if that was the way that was intended, like I like that, but like still it feels like there's a lot left on the floor with these other side characters that don't really mesh fully, and it feels like maybe stuff from the original book was like cut out and left out. But overall, cool movie. I think it makes you think about things. Pretty solid. But maybe the individual aspects of intrigue are more interesting than the movie as a whole. Still, solid movie, pretty okay. Was a decently interesting time.